Hello, gentlemen. I hope everybody is doing well. I wanted today to come on and talk a little bit about all this sex robot talk we keep hearing about in the news, because I know that I know I touched upon this maybe once or twice before, but I wanted to bring it up again because there's always new things coming up in the news, and it's always good to stay on top of these things because I'm in the I guess I'm in the field of this kind of thing. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why sex robots are going to be outsourcing women, why this came about. I know that a lot of MGTOWs already know about this, but in case we have new people here to my channel and people that are new to the MGTOW community, I wanted to explain this a little bit more in detail about why this whole sex robot thing is such a big deal with men, and why the news and why this technological advancements are coming about, and etc. The reason why women are going to be outsourced is quite simple. When you can provide men with the needs that that they want, a feminine woman, submissiveness, admirations, affections, all these different things that men enjoy out of seeking company with women. When you can provide that, when the field is not plentiful of those things, of course men are going to go for that, because they're needing, they have needs. We're not inhumans here. We're not aliens here. We have these desires. And what has happened in our society due to social engineering and many other facets of brainwashing and propaganda in the mainstream news and social media and all these other things is that what it has done is it has molded the minds of women to basically be fit for the agenda of business, political reasons, and many other different facets to all this. It's all designed to use the population for the benefit of somebody else, or for a cause, or for a political reason. All of these things are intertwined. It's not just one of the other. It's all together. And this is due to social engineering with feminism. Now, what feminism basically has done is caused the breakup of the family due to outsourcing via the government for or I should say by offering them welfare checks and beneficiary checks by not having men in the house. Now, they don't list that, obviously, but it's listed quite simply to see. We don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. So when you don't provide men with these needs, they're going to go find them somewhere else. I think this was something in psychology or something I read along those lines, where it said that if a young child does not get the adequate affection or attention or whatever they're missing in their development process as a kid growing up, they will seek that out when even in their adult years. And so what we see today, and I'm going to add in a quote from Fight Club, the movie Fight Club. Brad Pitt's character says, "We are a nation raised by women. I wonder if a woman is really the answer that we need." And it made a lot of sense, because what has happened is that due to this stuff that's been going on, it has created the mothers and the future generations to be brainwashed and indoctrinated with this feminist ideology and what the mainstream media tells them, because they didn't listen to their husbands, and they didn't listen to men, because the men keep up with usually men keep up with politics, they keep up with business, they keep up with these things. And the way that it works is that they dictate what happens and where the family decides to go, due to the fact that the man keeps up with it and he knows more about it, he's smarter, etc. Well, they didn't want to listen. And so because they didn't want to listen, they got provided an alternative and they took it without thinking too much about it. So that began the downward spiral of the social engineering that we see going on today. Now, sex robots. The reason why women are going to be outsourced, like I said, is quite simple. They're going to provide needs for men that women of this modern day age are not providing for men. And when you can do it in such a way, not only with creating, let's say, later on in the future, recently, by the way, an article came out on the Drudge Report, and I don't think it's there anymore, but I saw it, and it said that they are now able, in 2017, I think what they're going to be able to do in 2017 is create, with these sex robots, be able to create reproductive organs that are ultra realistic, basically. Not just some silicone shit. They're going to be able to create something a whole lot more realistic. So there's constant advancement in all this, and it's only going to get more and more advanced because, again, this is something for the men. The men are wanting this. There's a demand for this because of the fact that women are not providing men with the affections and the attentions that they need, the femininity that they need. Women are out of control. They're narcissistic as hell. They're feminists, and on top of that, they basically are just treating men like slaves and garbage. So it's common sense to know why men are going to go buy into these sex robots. And even right now, there's plenty of business going on in the sex robotic field. Plenty. For $7,000, you can go buy yourself a freaking robot or a doll, a realistic doll, not a robot. But if that, I mean, there's already enough interest in it now. We already see on YouTube and plenty. I know that there's some people in MGTOW that have talked about this and brought this up several times. Is this old development in the sex robots and how more realistic they're getting. There's TV shows coming out about it now. There's a TV show called Humans, which is basically about sex robots. Not about sex robots, about robots, but it's a woman robot, and she, has a husband and a wife. Invention recently made a video, and he said that the wife that he had got she was upset about the robot. Right? Makes you go figure, right? But that's the very kind of nature, the very kind of attitude that we're talking about here, is that when they're going to be able to create these things realistic, they're already pretty freaking realistic. Men already, especially here in the MGTOW, it ain't going to be no big issue. If that's something that you want to do, I don't think it's going to matter whether or not it doesn't. It's not animated yet, right? You do what you got to do, and that's it. But the point is they're going to be making these things to be more and more realistic, more and more animated. And this is why women are right now, I'm telling you, right now, if they don't change and get their shit in line, then men are not going to even bat an eyelid upon choosing the sex robot over real women, because they're going to be offering these sex robots, these robots, are going to be offering men with the very things that women are not providing now. It's basic supply and demand. That's all it is. Very basic. If you can supply a need that is not being supplied, you will do very well in business. The basic business 101 is supply and demand. If you have a need that customers or people want, and you provide that, and there's a demand for it, then you have the possibility of a lot of profit. So that's just basically 101 business and why women are going to be outsourced by these things. The biggest reason why is the animation and the ultra realistic aspect of why they're going to be outsourced. Because if you can make a robot look as real as a human and do everything, then of course they're going to be better than regular women. Because like I said, they're going to be providing them with the needs that these modern day women are not providing with men. And they're going to do it without question or asking. Now, there is a con to this. There is a con to all this. It isn't heavenly, rainbows over the hill in the green. It isn't. There's a con to this. Now, here's the con. Because artificial intelligence is a key factor in all of this sex robots, eventually there will come a point where the artificial intelligence is going to get smarter than the person, okay, to a point where it's going to think or feel the need to rebel against them, whether it's coming from being programmed to do that or just accumulation of data. It's going to be programmed to rebel against, or come up with a reason to rebel against the human, just like an iRobot and a lot of these other sci-fi channels, a lot of these other science fiction movies and news. And then we will be dealing with another revolt on our hands and rebellion against another female type of species, right? So that's a con to this. It's a possible con to this. But in terms of that happening anytime soon, as of right now, they haven't created something that sophisticated to be available to the general public. So that's not a big issue. But the one thing I want to get across to you guys out there, and to guys new to my channel, guys new to the MGTOW community, is that, and also just giving you a bit of information on why the situation in this, between the sexes right now is at a big turning point. It's at a major turning point. Because MGTOW is growing. I have new subscribers every single day. We get hundreds of guys coming into this whole discovering MGTOW on YouTube or different sources. And they're agreeing with us, and because they know that we are all being targeted as men in this society, and we're sick and tired of it, and we're just done. We're not going to put up with it anymore. And women are about to be outsourced by sex robots. They're already outsourced by pornography, really, other than the fact that women are used in porn, and that's the main reason why guys watch it. But the whole point is you'd rather jack off the porn than do with any of your modern-day narcissistic, entitled women who demand everything, right? So they will eventually be outsourced because they refuse. And if they don't change, if something happens dramatically over the next few years, and they just somehow magically fess up to disagreeing with feminists and just completely turning 180 and growing up and having an intelligence for once and being able to not try to overpower just for the sake of it, then they're not going to survive what this technology is going to be able to offer to men. Because quite honestly, I don't think any guys I don't think any of you guys out there want to put up with this crap anymore. Just to get your basic needs met. I think it's completely ridiculous, and that's why women are in deep shit right now, because they don't want to listen. So if they don't want to listen, then we will find another alternative. And not only that, we've moved past them already. We in the MGTOW community, at least, have developed ourselves, or are in the process of constantly developing ourselves. But we have moved past and have been unprogrammed and de-brainwashed, if you will, to what the feminist agenda has tried to turn us into. We broke the mind control, and we're on the path to recovery. And we have reclaimed, or in the process of reclaiming, our masculinity, and not being subjugated to this crap anymore. And because of that, snow will roll downhill, and the ball will keep rolling, and there's no stopping us now. So that's all I got to say, guys. Hope you guys have a good one, and take care.